to be asked to take. I've asked Michelle Largetoe and Chris Mundell to talk a little bit about what's happening with JA, MFA, Vega, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. So do you want to come join the table? Sure.
A couple of things that Sarah asked me to talk about. One was the JA fees. We had our annual JA fee meeting in December, the Clifton Park Half Moon Public Library. And based on the input from that meeting at the January 8th JA Council meeting, it was recommended that we have no fee increase for the 2026. So that would leave our fee income for 2026 budget the same as 2025, which was $591,471. I believe that's something that this board will have to approve. Another action that happened at the meeting was they voted to require MFA, which is multi-factor authentication, for all staff accounts as of April 15th. So once this is enabled, MFA will be required for all of the Microsoft 365 functions, which is email, OneDrive, Teams, those kind of things. I didn't know if you had any questions about what MFA was, which is part of what I brought Chris. To answer those
I have a quick
questions.
question. Do we, if we already have it, is it the same, is, like we already have, I already have that. For-
On your Office 365?
Yes.
Yeah, then you're.
So it's the
nothing will change.
same.
Nothing
Oh,
will
okay.
change.
Right, so it,
For me. Thank you.
yes. So we have been, we're gonna set up, we're having a, let's see, we made an announcement. We include like an FAQ and some instructions to get started for all the directors. We've had several libraries start working with Chris and other staff, asking questions and getting things set up. And we're going to do a Q&A on February 26th at 2:30, a webinar, so folks can ask questions. And hopefully we'll get everybody up and running before April 15th. The other thing that we decided at the J Council meeting was, as part of our new 5-year contract with III, we've included an upgraded bundle that includes Vega Discover. Vega Discover is an updated, enhanced, more user-friendly catalog interface. It also is compliant, ADA compliant, which the current catalog is not, and the vendor has indicated they have no plans to make it compliant. So that was a very big determining factor in going with this new bundle with Vega Discover. There is an increased cost for the bundle. There's a one-time fee of about $27,000, and then there's an increase of about $27,000 per year to have this bundle. Also included in that is Innovative Mobile, which is a mobile app for patrons. So that would be something that we might be able to implement down the line for our libraries. The actual implementation of Vega takes several months to do. Our plan is to do a Polaris upgrade first, and then work with III to do all the configuration and get the Vega Discover out sometime later this year.
So these costs won't show up in JA fees until 2027 at the earliest.
Oh, no, the cost for Vega Discover.
As in terms of the participating libraries.
So the bundle itself is part of our overall contract. So that we will not be charged the one-time cost until we actually go live on Vega. And then the increase in the annual fee will be prorated for the rest of the year, but then years. So it's a increasing cost.
Well, so,
You're asking who's gonna pay for the 27,000?
yeah, I mean, is it, you said no increase in 2026 over 2025. When does Vegas start getting paid for by fees?
So there's no increase in JA fees for the member libraries,
Right.
but there will be increases, there is an increase in the budget line for software that will cover the cost for Vega. It's part of the budget, or it will become part of the budget. It's possible, I think we may end up, I don't know if it is decided exactly, but there is money in the.
There's reserve
In the
funds.
reserve fund.
Okay.
And for something like upgrading to be ADA accessible, I think
Sure.
there's no question that's how that reserve should be used.
No, my only question was who was paying for it and when, so.
It will be built into the budget for years forward.
And I'll be long off the chain anytime, so.
Don't smile so big.
What was the annual amount? I heard the one-time price. but what-
It's about 27,000 as well.
Okay, so it's 27 for a couple and 27 per year.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be, less than that this year because it won't get into.
Sure. Yeah.
Any other questions for Michelle? Okay, so I guess that's on the docket to be voted on later. Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna, if I may, just jump in to say that we had a successful advocacy day. And in my written report is what we're asking for in increases in the governor's budget. Well, the governor's budget gave us increases in some areas, but not all. And in fact, went backwards for construction aid. So if you haven't reached out to your legislator to say libraries are important, please do, and have your friends and family as well. I sent out a request for people to do that. The other thing is, we, by the wonderful work Erica has done over the year, we have submitted, and Jack, we had submitted some federal grants. And we don't know the status of whether we're gonna see those federal funds. One of them is for oats. So that's, Erica, is that about 250?
It's about, it's $50,000 a year, or it would be if we get it, $50,000 a year for 4 years or 5 years, Jack? 4 years, so it'd be 200,000, and then I have a grant out to potentially do a big read and a grant out to the National Network of Libraries in Medicine to support creating their first cohort for Path to Belonging. So we're waiting to see. I've talked to our funders. Nobody really knows exactly what's going on right now, so I wish I had a better news to give you, but it's kind of hurry up and wait and see.
But I just wanted to let you know that we're seeing some ripples with what's going on with the federal government and budget. And that's the end of my oral report. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Committee reports. Sarah, I have a question for you.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, when we get to personnel committee reports, should we put that on hold until we go into executive session? Okay.
Well, no, you can talk about the personnel manual.
The manual, right, okay. So audit and finance, Tom?
Nothing to report.
Building, Christine? Anything?
Other than the March deadline for SALS construction grids.
Bylaws committee, Laura? Central Library, Margaret's not here. County aid coordinators, anything to report?
The money is in the process of coming in and being distributed. So we've received Hamilton County? We've received, I know it's selling vouchers.
Yeah, Saratoga paperwork's back to them. We haven't received that yet. And I think we did get Hamilton,
And Warren,
Warren, we don't have that.
Okay. Library services?
Yes, we had, oh, I'm sorry, jump the gun.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, I've been out of the loop, so I can't honestly.
Well, this is true, but we're glad you're back. and
Thank you,
The
thank
committee hasn't met, so I guess we have nothing to report.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. Linda, we're going to report on the handbook now, and we'll do the other section later.
Okay, so the committee has been working on the SALS employee handbook for a number of months. We've reviewed it. Colleen has done an exorbitant amount of work on pulling together the new handbook. She's consulted with a lawyer to make sure the changes are all coordinating with the New York State laws and their language. We reviewed it again. We accepted changes. We sent it out to the employees to review. We received a few comments from them. We reviewed it again, and so you now have received a copy of the SALS Employee Handbook that we are proposing that we accept later on during the meeting.
So are there any questions about the handbook? Okay, so, I'm sorry.
Our consultant is not a lawyer, he's a HR professional.
Okay,
Okay, sorry.
That's okay, I just wanted to.
so we will approve the handbook then, under new business in just a few minutes. Trustee nominating, Janet.
It's been pretty busy. You all had the chart showing where the vacancies were, and Jordan Hornstein has decided to rejoin us. From Hamilton County. Our other possibility for Hamilton County turned it down because of the commute. So, luckily had changed our bylaws so that we could be more flexible. And we're joined by Patricia Partello, Pat,
Hi.
who's from Saratoga County. And she's starting today as, an appointment until she will be voted in at the annual meeting. The other candidates for whom you have bios are Heather Crocker, who's here as an auditor today, just listening. And we recently got, another person who was interested from Washington County to replace Linda, Eleanor DeVries. We don't have her bio yet. And the other vacancy, Margaret Shapiro is coming on again for another term.
So, which brings us right up to new business, which is to approve Patricia Patello to fill Barbara Taylor's seat. Barbara's seat would have, or her term would have ended in 2026. So you'll finish that term and then you'll still be eligible for 2 full 5-year terms.
Okay.
Should you wish to, stay with us for so long. And we hope you will. In your folders, there should be Patricia Pat's bio. Take a chance to read that. Pat is a librarian, correct?
I am, yeah.
Retired librarian. So
Mhm.
that is terrific. Is there anything you want to tell us quickly about?
What do I want to tell you? I started off as a paralegal, then I got my master's. I'm a special libraries librarian. I've always been a law librarian, except when I moved here from Pittsburgh, and that is when the public library was opening up. And they hired me for reference, and I'll tell you, that was difficult. It really was, because you go from just knowing a lot about one thing to having to know about, a little bit about everything. So that was very difficult, but it was a good experience. But I must tell you that when the job with the Attorney General's office came up, and Jill will know that because I worked with Jill Ryder, then I just jumped on it, and because I just felt comfortable. I wasn't a duck out of water anymore, so that was comfortable. So I retired about 5 years ago, and I'm on the board of the Schuylerville Public Library. And I guess that's about it. If you have any questions for me, I've been a librarian for a long time.
Any questions for Pat? Would someone like to make a motion that we welcome Pat onto our board?
I will.
Elaine makes the motion. Do I have a second? Tom? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so now you can go with us. You are officially on the board.
All right. Thank you.
Which brings us back to the employee handbook. If there's no further discussion about the employee handbook. And thanks, Colleen, for putting all of that together. Would someone make a motion that we accept and on the last page of the handbook, there is a to be continued. One addendum is missing.
An emergency preparedness plan, so
Mm.
that will be added at a later date.
But we decided to get this thing official,
Yes.
and so we're gonna do that now. So with that, one caveat, would someone make the motion to accept the employee handbook? Janet, a second, Sue, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
I want to abstain, I haven't interested in that.
okay, one abstention,
Mhm.
thank you. C, receive cash receipt procedures and payroll procedures and cash transfers to cover warrants.
Yeah, these were just, basically, some operational changes that kind of consolidated some things and also added some, backup people, and Colleen will talk about the details.
Yeah, these are the documents we provide for the auditors. So on the cash receipt procedure, the only change was we now created our invoices directly in QuickBooks. We used to use Excel and then create them again. And now it's Pamela or me creating those invoices. It was one line. On the payroll procedure, we added a final step because Nikon now administers our FSA directly. And Bob approved back when we started with them an FSA ACH. So they take the withholdings and they administer our FSA. And so we just added that line in that Nikon is withdrawing the FSA contributions from the employee benefit account and reimbursing employees from their Nikon account. So those two changes should be current with what we're doing.
Oh,
That doesn't require.
okay, does anyone have a question? For Colleen or Bob? Okay, moving right along. Appointment of Trevor Oakley to fill the remainder of Tom McDonough's term on the Joint Automation Council. Is there any explanation about this necessary? So can I have someone make a motion that we appoint Trevor Oakley? Oh, Elaine makes the motion. Is there a second? Janet, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. I suppose I should always be asking for abstentions, but I can never get that word out of my mouth. So we'll move on. Approved multi-factor authentication, am I getting that right? Or
Yes,
missing
you are.
syllable? Okay, for all joint automation accounts. Sorry, everyone, my mouth's not working today. May I have the motion to approve the multi-factor? Sue, a second. Christine, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
What was the date again on
April
that?
15th.
Okay, and when is our annual meeting?
No,
May
19.
the third Monday.
Okay.
Is it third Monday or second Monday? I should know this. Third Monday.
I could look, but then I'd lose my page here and I'd be in trouble.
Monday, May 19th.
19. Thank you. The F, approved Vega Discover Library catalog. A motion, Elaine, is there a second? Laura, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, G, approved 2026 joint automation fees, which were just explained to us. Is there any discussion of that? Can I have a motion to accept the fees? Tom, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Pat. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? I'm having fun here, I'm sorry. H, this is a long list. SALS Courier Service review for proposal. Are we doing that today, Sarah?
We know, but we are going. This isn't an action item. We just wanted to let you know that the current service ends, or the contract ends June 27th, 2025. And because it's such an expensive service, we have to go out a request for proposals or request for quote. So we'll be doing that,
To be
next.
determined. Okay.
but we'll share the request with you all. And then we're probably gonna have to do the bid process and have that big ceremony where you open up all the bids. And then you get to vote.
How long is the contract for?
3 years, it was 3 years. Time just flies.
I know, I feel like we
by.
just voted for
That's what happens when you're in a 5-year term.
Okay, permission for staff to attend conferences in 2025. Do we need to do these one at a time, or can we roll them all together? Do I have any kind of person here to answer that question from me? Obviously, I should know. Shall we reach one?
Well, see if anyone, if you have a question about anyone.
Okay. Does anyone have a question about A, B, C, D, E, or F concerning staff attendance at conferences this year? Would someone like to make a motion that we accept all of these
I will.
proposals? Elaine, is there a second? Sue, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Director's Council report?
There is none.
Not here. Okay. Are there any announcements? All right, we do have to end this open session so that we can go into executive session
You have to kind of say what it's for, not specifically, but general
to,
personnel or.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
to
all.
discuss a personnel issue. So thank you to those of you who were not interested.
Would you like Bob and Colleen to remain?
We almost got out.
You got up really quick.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. She's our board president. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those, library Stillwater. Oh, okay, yes.
Back in the day, we worked together but at different places.
Yeah, she's our board president.
Yeah, cool.
Laura, you want cookies? No, thank you, but I do want to know where the scones came from.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Over here. Basket bakery.
Oh,
okay.
On spring,
They're really
both
good.
of them.